Well, let's give you an update. Welcome back, everybody, on my mini, my mini skid steer that I broke. Oh, geez. Anyways, lovely. Went out and got a bunch of attachments you can see on the back of the truck at auction. Damn auctions. So anyways, what I see here on the hub and what I showed on the video is, so this is going to be the overall of the machine, and what I didn't see initially, which I thought was really good. So there's going to be a little bit of down tractor from this. I still like the machine. I still think it's smooth, but what we're doing is going to give you a review of what it is. So going through some more nuts and bolts after using it for a couple hours, and I got 7.5 hours on the machine, 7.5 hours. Okay, and I can still move it around like this. This is amazing. But this hub right here is screwed on, and I don't know if it's welded or not through this center hole. But so the lug nuts were barely 50, 50 pounds on the torque wrench, and so that seemed a little light, especially for the size of the lug nuts, right? So I was going to get them all to 110 pounds and call it good. So that's what I did. Got it to 110 pounds. Now on this one, if we flip it around, it shows that it's just fine, right? This one shows fine. Doesn't show any stress or anything like that. Now, if the company said they were going to send out another unit on this. So if we look at this, what we got here is, this is a bearinged unit, and there's a lock ring here that would come out, and seals and everything going in there, what I imagine, right? So I could probably put the hub back on, this hub back on, if I clean this up, and I could probably weld it, knowing that I would never be able to probably get in there, pull everything apart to service this if this ever went out, right? So there is that, if the company doesn't send it. And so if we look down in here, what that is, there is what your axle is looking like, or your hub is looking like down in there, and it's just driven by a belt up to really the hydraulic part somewhere. Oh, there it is. The hydraulic motor is right there, and it's bearinged off of there. So hydraulic motor is there, goes to that hub, and then the front hub. So front and rear are driven off the chain. I think it's super smooth, and it's really, simplistic in a lot of ways. So anyways, what we're looking at here is, I could probably get that on and repair it and make it work. And so if the company, it takes them forever to get there, I probably will do that. Now, I can probably unbolt it and get it done on the machine. Hopefully it doesn't heat it up enough to where it does, it warps the seals and everything. So anyways, let's look in here. The problem I see here is they didn't, either the rim or basically the hub itself isn't enough, and I didn't catch it when I was torquing it down. This rim is now pushed out from here, so they did not do well at clearancing, and they made the hub slightly too big for the rim. Now you either can take the rim off, warble it, or ring it. And now if you look closely down in here, down here on this one, doesn't show as much. It shows a little indentation, like maybe it was welded right in here. But now we go on the other side, and we look down here, and you can kind of see, I didn't clean it up, but you can kind of see the ring around there is cracked. So the paint's cracked. So does that mean that when I torqued it down, it puts too much stress on the hub that's screwed on when I torque the nuts down? Don't know. So this one is doing a similar event, right? And you can see the paint chipping up here on the top, which indicates that it's probably way too tight. So that's kind of some of the things. Other things that I'm now spotting are the welds. Here I thought the welds were good. The paint was hiding some of that. So I think if you look up here along here, you're starting to see some rust pockets and rust spots. You know, look up on this, you know, the arm welds, they still look really good. And so that's kind of what we're looking at as far as our weld quality goes. Like down in here, there's another rust spot. There's some spots in here. So if I'm zooming in and I'm being totally honest with you guys, you know, the ups and downs of the machine, and is really good in some ways, really bad in others. So I see areas that I probably will have to address down in here. Now, are those structural? I don't know if they're really structural. They keep the plate on, kind of protecting it a little bit. You know, some of the other structural stuff seems to be doing okay or showing up fairly well still. So it's kind of interesting. You know, maybe this is structural. The stuff welds down in here. You can kind of see some more welds down in here. And so some of the things. So hit and miss on some of these. The other thing that's a miss on this is how low that piece is right there. I love the springs on the steps. I think they're great. But that piece that comes down here, angled down, really catches some stuff. So I'm gonna have to address that, you know, either heat it and bend it up or cut it completely off, one of those things, because that scoop right there all the way across is just what it is. It's a scoop. and it's way too low to the ground when you look at it. And so let me get you down here at ground level, sort of, and you can kind of see it across there. Now I have the step lifted up so you can kind of see a little bit of how low that is in there. So anyhow, hit and misses. My review, the initial one that I thought the radiator was leaking down in there, it seems, yes, there's residual, but it seems to have stopped leaking, and which is rather amazing, right? So still, I'd like to see up in here, and well, I don't have the keys, but I'd like the top of the radiator to be supported up to the top of the frame there, because it doesn't catch it, but there's a lot of vibration. It smooths out to be a little bit more micro vibration at higher RPMs, but that's kind of one of those things. So anyways, my review of this, I love the power, love how smooth the operations are with the hydraulics, the way it goes, but the hit and misses of what the machine is right now, and so I want to get it out to an honest review for you guys. If anybody else is having a wheeled unit of this design, let me know. Drop me in the comments and let me know if there's anything you guys are finding out versus a tracked unit. Maybe I should have got the tracked unit. Yeah, I don't know, you know, or maybe I shouldn't have torqued the wheels down like I thought they should be torqued. I couldn't find any torque specs anyways. I was just going off of what vehicles, and vehicles, you know, would have been, this lug nut size would have been 100 to 110 pounds. So anyways, and that's where when I got into a wrench, it was rather what I would thought was loose. You know, it wasn't loose, but it moved rather easily. So anyways, a little lengthy video here, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and that's my impressions so far of 7.5 hours of use on my my 430 mini skid steer, and the hit and misses, that what I like and what I don't like on it so far. Anyways, thank you for watching. Comment below, and especially if you have one of these, and we'll talk with you later. Bye.